In this segment here, we have for you pro MMA fighter Alana Jones, who fought Fallon Fox, and we also have pro boxer Nick Gavan.
Alana, tell me about that fight. Why did you take it? What was your first thought when it even came up in conversation?
I was just surprised everybody else to hear that Fallon Fox was really born a man. And I was in a tournament, and I didn't want to give up my spot in the tournament, so I felt that I was good enough to beat Fallon, and I just took the fight.
Exciting. Was it exciting? Were you a little bit nervous or?
It was exciting, a little bit nervous, didn't know what to expect from it. Didn't know if she was going to be super strong or not, but I'm used to training with men anyway, so I just went for the 2 more.
Good deal.
Awesome. How long ago did you get involved in MMA and why?
About 4 years ago. I really got involved to get in shape because I used to be over 200 pounds. So I did it for that reason. And then I just enjoyed doing it, watching my brothers fight. I enjoyed it.
Wow.
Okay. Well, as being fighters, we all have to cut weight, watch our weight. Like you said, that's one of the reasons why you got into it. Is there a food that you miss more than anything else? What is your favorite food?
Obviously Mexican food. I love Mexican food. Something that I really miss. Gummy bears.
Gummy bears. The 5-pound bags?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, you just definitely got to make some sacrifices in doing it. You gotta stick with it.
Okay, yeah, I know I miss those 5-pound bags too.
Since you've become a well-known public figure and people come up to you probably wanting autographs, pictures, what's your boyfriend think about it?
He's supportive of it. As far as I know, he's real supportive. We enjoy it just as much as I do.
Comes with the territory, I guess,
Yes,
huh?
it does.
Right on. Your fighter's name is Hands of Stone. Where did that come from? Was that given to you, or is that something you came
Yeah,
up with?
a friend of mine in Detroit gave it to me. He's watching my fights. He's like, no, I'm gonna call you Hand Stone. I'm like, that's catchy. I like that. So I just kept it.
Okay. Was there a specific moment when everyone just kind of realized, like, wow, she's throwing bricks, you know?
Yeah. Everybody said I throw hands pretty good, so I guess it fits my fighting style. So that's why I put it.
Very cool.
Do you have a fight lined up, and who's your next opponent if you do?
Nothing for sure right now, but thinking October would be sometime in October would be my next fight. Don't know who against yet, so I'm still waiting for that.
Okay, good.
Very cool. I hear females all the time who are seeing the sport expand, and they're always questioning, how can I get involved? How do I get started? What would you recommend to them? Where would you say, as a female, the best place to start is?
I would say, try finding a gym that's close. Just gotta be dedicated to it. It's hard work. You gotta be willing to make sacrifices as far as food, and sometimes you gotta give up partying and drinking. And you just gotta stay with it. It takes a lot of dedication to do the sport. That's that's the hardest part. Once you get into it, you'll love it, and you stay with it. That's the hardest part is being committed.
Being committed. I can say that. Being committed is probably the hardest part.
Yes, indeed, especially being young and having jobs and family. And
Having to do it all.
yeah. I see you got a cast on your arm. Is that from your last fight versus Holly Holm?
Yes, I did this blocking one of Holly's kicks. My first head kick. I put my hand up to block fractured disc bone. Disc bone down here, fractured it. I have to wear it for 6 months. Oh, well, not 6 months, but 6 weeks.
That's a long time for a
Yeah,
fighter.
it is a long time. 6 weeks is a long time.
All of a sudden, you put everything on hold now and
Yeah.
let your hand heal.
Yeah, try. I'm gonna still stay in the gym and just do whatever I can, but yeah. just
You know,
keep fighting.
wrap it up in bubble wrap and just go at it.
I wish I could. I'll probably still hurt type of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, did you get a lot of media attention for the Fallon Fox fight?
Yeah, I did. I did a lot of interviews with people and got to go on Access TV, on MMA Live to interview about the Fallon Fox fight. It was a good experience for me. Still getting that type of attention now, but I enjoy it. It's nice.
What was the biggest thing that you took away from that fight?
Really, I don't know. I mean, it was, I guess the whole experience of it was nice to have and help me get used to other big fights in the future. So,
All the media attention.
yeah.
Okay.
What was the difference between fighting in that show against Fallon Fox and maybe one of the local shows around Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo area?
A lot more attention, a lot more people. Big event. You gotta do all the cameras and stuff and pre-fight interviews before the fight. And that was way different than the other shows.
Now, did that affect your psyche going into the fight? You know, did that play any kind of mind games? Did it make the fight seem bigger than what it was, or once the cage door closed, that was it, and then it's time to go?
I know. It was different, but you just got once the doors close, you block out everything. You don't even notice the crowds in
In other words, it don't matter what cage.
there. No.
Cage over here, the cage over there is
Yeah.
the same, right?
Yeah, it is.
I hear you. We got Nick Gavon here. You're a pro boxer. When was your last pro boxing match?
My last pro boxing match was when was that? July 6th? July 6th, yep. July 6th was my last match. That was at the Fifth Third Ballpark against I can't remember his name, so I just call him AV and I'm big one. So
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice. You do amateur MMA as well, right?
yeah, I did do it. My last fight in that was at Genesis last March. I did that for a strong 8.5 months. Had a nice little underground 6 title belt run, 15-1 record. It was pretty fun. Wouldn't take it back for nothing. I love the experience of it. So, yeah, that was definitely a highlight of my fight career, boxing and MMA.
Okay. Now, since you were doing both, do you have a most memorable fight? And
Oh, yeah.
if so, would it be a boxing or an MMA fight?
Well, I got two. My most memorable boxing fight was in 2010 when I won state champ for the second year in a row. And my most memorable MMA fight was against Emilio Williams. That fight is so memorable because I was in his city and the tension was thick and the song I picked out was just like there and I had the crown on and I remember getting up in there and like, okay, he finna feel his hands. But then he just kept leg kicking. And me, being a boxer, coming in, you have a good takedown defensive hands, I didn't know how to stop it. And then later on at night, Alana says, man, you should have just check kicked. I'm like, what's that? Like, well, it didn't even hurt anyway. Then the next day I was limping all over the place. So it's like he was using that leg kick as a jab, and he would just light me up. The audience going crazy. I didn't know what to do. So I said, skip it, I'm finna just go in. So I just came in, and I hit him like a 12-punch combination, and he was feeling it, and I just started taking over the fight, and I ended up cracking his rib, and the fight got stopped, and I walked away with the belt. That fight, that was a rematch everybody wanted to happen. It never happened because I got signed pro after that, shortly after that fight, but that's one of my most memorable fights right there was against Emilio and Lansing. I'll never forget that.
I can tell, man. You're a whole
Yeah, I know.
excited.
Just thinking about that fight, that was like a classic moment because I didn't know what to do with that leg kick. It was terrible.
Nice. Now, since you did MMA and boxing, is there a preference? Do you like one more than the other?
Yeah, if both sports was females, boxing would be my wife, and MMA would be like my side girl.
That's a good analogy.
And I've been boxing for 10 and a half years now. I've been doing this since a young guy. I remember my brother crying when Tyson got his first loss to Douglas. It just really takes me back, gives me a feeling that no other sport can give me. But I respect the sport of MMA more because me and her had so many debates about boxing, real sport. Like, what makes boxing a real sport in MMA? We had so many debates back and forth. But for me to actually get in there and do it, I earned a bigger respect for it, like transitions and submissions and just the whole beauty of the sport. I got a bigger respect for it now than before I get in and just look at it like, oh, they do have to land with each other, you know. Me actually doing it gave me a real big respect for it.
What was the deciding factor to make you decide to do the transition between boxing and MMA?
Well, to be honest, I just got a little bored really with boxing, and I wanted something different. So I figured if I go over the cage, it'd be more gruesome, more violent, it'd be more of a challenge for me. But like 10 fights into it, it seemed a little bit easier than boxing due to the fact that they didn't want to do nothing but try to take it down and wrestle. And there was a lot of people I fought, they wasn't really conditioned with their hands like me. So it's like I could set this up with a jab and just have to fight my way. So once I start getting there and knocking a few people off, I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I can roll the dice with this, but as soon as I lose them down. And then like, I'm a first one to quit.
What I noticed from your fights is you're very energetic and athletic. Would you say that's one of your best assets?
Oh yeah, because besides the fact that people like seeing knockouts and me move my hands, they like the energy and the entertainment I bring. So if I'm in a fight and they can't tell me nothing about the fight, they was getting a beer, talk to somebody, whatever, they can be like, hey, did you see how you came home? Hey, that dude crazy. Hey, did you see what he did in the middle of the fight? You know, I always give people something to talk about when they see my fights, rather than just people saying, oh, he's a good stand-up guy. Yeah, he's good. You know, I want to give people, hey, he did his thing. Did you see it? Yeah, you should have saw it. That's what I like right there. For people to walk away from my fights and have something to talk about, that's all I want right there.
Nice, man, nice.
You were talking about the energy level and how much you put out in each one of your fights. What did you feel like required more conditioning on your behalf? Was it the MMA fights where you're making the transitions, or the boxing?
Well, to be honest, you have to really sit down and like train both sports because it's like two different type of cardios. Because I can give you 15, 20 rounds straight in boxing. But since I'm such in good shape, I can do a lot of rounds in MMA too. But it's like doing blocking kicks and moving this way and you know, getting up against the cage and wrestling is a whole nother type of cardio than boxing because it requires more. So I've done rounds with people in boxing and they'll go like maybe 4.5 rounds, but they go 7, 8 rounds in the cage. It's crazy because the cardios are actually different. But I train so hard for both sports, you know, do 2 miles in the morning, 5 in the evening. I try to at least get 2, 3 training sessions in a day. So it was like the conditioning was never a big factor for me. Like the funny thing about my fights that people take as arrogance, and it might be a little bit, she be hating, but it might be a little bit. But the main thing me and my coach always discuss, is like, man, you know, this fight coming up. People like, yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, so how do you think I should come out this fight? That'd be like the main subject. Not he got a good jab, or he's gonna come with this. Like, man, I don't know. I might come out this LL Cool J. I'm really feeling it. That'd be like the biggest debates in my fight. Like, we're so confident in my camp that like my camp never questions my skills, nothing. They just know I know when it's time to turn it on and I need to get serious, and I always do.
That's good, man. That's good. And that you got your camp behind you as well. You guys train with the same team?
No, I actually train with AZO Alliance in Kalamazoo. But me being a fighter, a boxer at that, I move around to a lot of good gyms. Like I like staying in the Detroit area. World's best boxing gym. There's a champ coming out there named Leonardo Tyler. I train with him a lot. Dwayne Williams, Leandre White. They're all boxers, so I move around from gym to gym. MGGA gym, that's a gym out of Grand Rapids. I train there too. I have got some work done at her gym though. My mom said, Sadalos. I have trained there a few times. So that's a good gym too. I mean, I get work all over though. But my main home base gym is AZO Alliance in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
You look like you're repping them today with your
Oh
t-shirt.
yeah, and a lot of shirt.
What gym do you train with, Atlanta?
Sudados in May. It's out of Lansing. Sometimes I go over to Marcelago in May. And then it's a gym in Chicago. been to other gyms, a lot of different gyms all over. I most of the time I'm training at different gyms, but my home gym is in Lansing. So
Okay. Awesome.
Now, Nick, we asked her honey over here how she felt about being in the public. You know, how did that same question to you? You know, seeing her getting all the attention, she seeing you getting attention. People want autographs, pictures. You know, how do you react to that?
It's all good. I mean, I like the attention, and you know, I like the fact that people actually want to take pictures with me and get my autograph, or I'll be somewhere out in the street like, hey, Beeman, gotcha, bro, gotcha. I'm like, you know, I like stuff like that. But you know, I take the attention all as it comes. You know, it's all good. You know, like she said, you know, she support me, I support her. So we a team. You know, whenever she want to get beat up, you know, I'll beat her up. So it's all good.
Okay, now, would you guys like to add anything yourselves? We've asked you several questions. Would you like to add anything?
I just like thank my manager at Rise Management, Pat Wilson, my sponsors, Serenity Bird, and Strikewear, Title Shot, I'm a Beast, and all fans that supporting me, and family, and Nick Van, King Bean. That's about it.
Okay, me, I like to thank my boxing gyms on World's Best Boxing Gym. My coach, T. Thompson Evolution on Facebook, but the girl name is Terrence Thompson. That's my guy. You know, he do a lot for me inside and outside the ring. Bernardo Tyner, Dwayne Williams, MGGA, Idea, Credell Jackson. Y'all for having me, of course. You know, it's a good opportunity for me to get out and, you know, run my big mouth like I do. And Miss Hands of Stones, just for being you yourself. So, you know, and everybody, AZL Alliance, my city, all the Michigan Midwest, all the fight fans, period. I want to thank everybody, because without the fight fans, you know, it's really useless to do it. You know, I like money, but I like for people to look at me and say, you're doing something positive. So I just thank everybody who support the MMA movement and boxing movement.
Awesome. Okay, hey, well, thank you guys for coming on the show, and maybe in the future, after your next fights or something, we can have you back on and talk about that.
August 17th, Virginia, that's my next one.
Okay. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back with Office Talk, Episode 3. Welcome back to Office Talk, Episode 3. We have for you John McGuinn out of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, a 4-0 fighter, fighting at 155 pounds. Also, we have Chris Tanner fighting out of Team Hit. His upcoming fight, Jared Brooks. Wow.
Very excited to talk to you about that one.
Yeah. And we got Nick Phillips fighting out of Legion Fighting Alliance. Next fight for you is Art of War versus Patrick Best at 115 pounds, right?
That's right.
Okay. Start this thing off, John McGuinn. What do you got to say about the team that you fight for, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu?
We're pretty much a self-defense gym, you know. We practice Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So when I go out there and fight, I know I protect myself first, and then once I know I can do that, I go attack. So that's pretty much what our whole gym does. We're a submission gym over like a position gym. So usually Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gyms are position over submission, but we usually attack for submissions first.
Awesome.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, how old are you? How long have you been fighting?
Yeah, I'm 27 years old. I've been training since I was 20, so 7 years. Officially, I've been training, I would say, for 4 years, because I joined the Gracie Academy when I was 23, and I joined the Bulldogs about a year ago now, and I kind of took a hiatus from there for the past few months due to injury.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your instructor, Chet Skimmerhorn?
Yeah, Chet is actually the first guy that didn't train full time at the Torrance Gracie Academy, which is headquarters for the Gracie Academy. He's the first guy ever to get his black belt. That wasn't a full-time student there. He's a first degree black belt under Horn Gracie, Huron Gracie, and Hunter Gracie. He has a gym in LaGrange, Indiana, and he's opening a new gym. I believe it's in the middle of September at Fort Wayne. So if you're in Fort Wayne, you can check his new gym out in September, or if you're in the LaGrange area, Elkhart area, it'd be great to go to him, especially for ground skills or jiu-jitsu.
Awesome.
Very nice. Now, like Jeremy stated earlier, you're 4-0 now at 155 weight class. Now that you've started doing that, would you consider yourself an MMA fighter, or would you still classify yourself a Gracie fighter?
Well, definitely. I'm gonna kind of mess it up for you. I consider myself both. And everyone tells me you can't do that. You can't win fights being a Gracie fighter. But I mean, I believe that if you step inside of the octagon, you're an MMA fighter anyway. And I'm adapting to what MMA really is. You know, my first fight, I went in there with pure jiu-jitsu skills, pretty much not a lot of striking. So as the years go on, my training camps pile up. I've been adding my striking into a lot bigger ratio than my jiu-jitsu. So I'm trying to catch it up to my ground skills.
And what are your plans as far as continuing in the cage? Are you looking to go pro eventually at some point in your career?
Yeah, I've got offered a few fights for the MFL, a couple title fights. They fell through, and I really want to fight the best guys. So I'm not going to name names, but a lot of the top guys in the area and the state were supposed to fight me when they dropped out. So I'm kind of sick of that. So I'm ready to turn pro and fight some real dudes and see what I can do.
Awesome. That's exciting, man. So I guess my next question for you would be, what are your plans? When are you going pro?
Yeah, well, I just got sponsored by the shirt right here, Jits Junkie. They're out of Texas. So over the next 6 months, I'm going to be doing a lot of grappling tournaments, a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments. I have the ADCCs coming back up in March. It seems like a long way away, but I'm training now for it. So I got a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments. I'm going to travel the country and do that. Get my specialty even more special. You know, so I go to the next level. I still have that in my pocket. But other than that, I'm going to keep training my stand-up, and hopefully within the next 6 months to a year after my jiu-jitsu's done, I'm ready for my first pro fight.
Very cool. Very cool. What is your support system like? You know, how did you get involved, and then what has kept you going with the sport?
Well, my support system really, I have a twin brother, Thomas Lewin. He's a 4-stripe blue belt in Chet, and he actually about a year and a half ago told me to quit my job and just train full time, and he pays for most all the bills. You know, and whatever money I make for fighting, I'll try to give back to him. But he's pretty much my support system, man. He lets me, I train 3 times a day. I wake up and I run, hit the bag, and I'll do grappling around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock when I'm in chest at night. And then usually we'll probably mess around around midnight before we go to bed again. So it's pretty awesome to have him doing that for me. My family's awesome, they help me out. And for LaGrange Gracie Academy, all those guys, man, those guys, if you need anything, they'll help you. They'll give you their shirt off the back.
So it's kind of like family.
It's a family, yeah, man. It's a family. It's a real big family.
You said you had a twin. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Is he also involved in the sport?
He's involved in the sport of jiu-jitsu, not MMA.
Okay.
So he's actually with the tournaments I'm going to over the next 6 months. He'll be coming with me, and we're gonna try to find a blue belt somewhere in the U.S. that can beat him. So that's our goal.
Awesome. Now we got Chris Tanner here. Exciting to have you on, man. You're fighting Jared Brooks, the powerhouse Jared Brooks. Sorry, I gotta say powerhouse because he's known to some as undefeated. We just found out that he has a loss on his record.
Yes, 2 or 3.
Is that right?
I think so.
Well, I only heard one, but anyways, what are your plans when you go in that cage with Jared Brooks? When that door shuts, what are your plans for him?
Have some fun with him, dude. I love Jerry. I've known that kid since we were itty-bitty. We used to go wrestling tournaments. I'd come to Warsaw to go wrestle, and he'd be there. We'd go around and stuff, and like he said, I wrestled his brother like numerous times. And Jared, he's just another guy in there, It's like I love the kid to death, but it's work, When I get in there with him, I know what he's wanting to do. He's gonna want to shoot, take me down. He's gonna want to try to submit me. It's like, that used to be a big hole in my game plan. I used to not be so adverse with like my jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. But I've been training that really strong here lately, and I feel real confident with everything. And I'm going back to Miami going 2 weeks to Fifth Street Boxing Gym down there, an American top team. So, gonna be back, gonna be in shape, and ready for this war, dude.
How do you feel about Jared and that going up to Frankie's place? Frankie
Dude, I'm excited for him, dude. That's an awesome opportunity for him. You know, it's like, I wish him all the best, dude. Like I said, I love the kid, you know.
Right.
So,
How do you feel that will come into play once the cage door closes? You know,
I think we're both gonna be at the top of our game, dude. It's gonna be one hell of a war.
I'm
I can't
excited to
wait.
see it.
Oh, yeah.
So am I. Be one of the guys that knock him off his throne if you are.
Trying to, dude.
Awesome. What do you got to say about your team, man? I mean, who do you train with? And-
TJ Pettigrew. I got Ryan Ray. He was on the show last week with you guys. Ryan Ray, he just recently come back to the gym, and he helps me out with like a lot of my reach. Problems I have, obviously I'm a midget, you know, kind of short. I got some T-Rex arms here. I got Ryan Lindsay and Ryan Hill, two-time world champion Taekwondo. He's my coach. He puts us through grueling, intense workouts. I couldn't imagine anything like better. So it's like, you gotta be prepared. And I get every look I possibly can. So I'm excited for it.
Awesome. For the people who don't know who you are, can you give us a little bit about yourself? You know, how long you've been in the sport, how old you are, you know, what your plans are with the sport in the next 2 to 3 years, maybe 5 years?
Alright, well, first off, I'm 24 years old. I've been doing MMA for the past 2.5 years. I've wrestled my entire life, all the way up until college. Wrestled at IU for a while, blew my knee out. So then I just went from never being able to wrestle again to like, hey, let's try this jiu-jitsu stuff. And went from jiu-jitsu to an MMA fight. I had 2 unsanctioned fights my sophomore year in college, and beat my first kid in 27 seconds, beat my second kid in 32 seconds.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
impressive.
Yeah.
I like getting it done quick. It's like once you're in there, it's like, all right, let's do this, let's have some fun. But and then as soon as I got out of college, left a year early, came to Ryan Hill's gym, and I was like, dude, because I fought for him, and he's like, anytime you want to come down, just come and let me know. You can come train for free. You know, it's like you're part of the family, so you're welcome. So I did. I came down. I trained for a year. Originally from South Bend, Mishawaka area, and I used to commute every day. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna live there, and I moved. Just up moved. Told my mom, and they were like, yo, hey, I'm leaving like this weekend. I'm like, I'm going to Columbia City. Where's that? That's the first question I get when people say like, where are you from? And it's a little podunk town, but I love it. You know, it's like peaceful. You get to run anytime you want, and don't get hit by cars. So.
Is there any other gyms over there? I mean, you don't have to mention the names or anything, but since it's a small town, is there any more gyms?
In Columbia City, no. I mean, our gym is really the only MMA gym we got out there. You can go out to Fort Wayne. You got like King Wrestling. You got Doug Stapleton's gym. You got what's his name? Hollywood's gym out there. Then you got Absolute Fitness and Absolute MMA out there in Warsaw. They're good. We're partners with them for a jiu-jitsu program now, so go up there and do some cross training with them. And then my coach is actually looking to open up his own CrossFit gym here in the next year or so.
Ooh, CrossFit.
Yeah. I'm excited for that so much. I'll stick around with that. Come on now.
There you go.
As far as the future for the fighting and stuff, I've got 6 fights lined up right now for the rest of the year, and out of the 6, 5 are title shots.
Very nice.
My actual next fight is the Art of War fight. We're both fighting on the same card. I'm the semifinals of the tournament for the 125-pound weight class, and I fight Chad Wynn, who's 8-3 right now. And
Ooh, solid record.
yeah, I got my cumulative record for my next 6 opponents is 32-3. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
You can't look back at any easy fights after fighting all these tough ones, right?
Oh,
I mean,
no,
it's gonna get harder and harder.
Well, I figure, if I can beat one of these guys, like these guys are the best in the state, and plus I'm fighting guys from Ohio, fighting guys from Kentucky. I want to see what it's like, I want to get out there. I want to get to the next level, and I see this is the way of doing it. If I win all these fights like I plan on doing, I'm going to take some time off to coach middle school wrestling again for this year, for the Columbia City guys. And then as soon as I'm done there, I'm going back to Miami and getting ready for my pro debut.
Awesome.
So,
How is making 125? Is Is that a cut for you?
Used to be. I used to walk around like about 160.
Wow.
Yeah, I get big and real thick. That's my one thing. Like I know you guys know. Like when I get in the cage, I'm not the leanest of 125 pounders, but I'm like this sucks. Like this cut's horrible. But it's not the way I'm built. And now I got my manager. He got a hold of me, Spencer. He's like, dude, we're getting your diet under control because no more cutting 15, 17 pounds a week of a fight. It's like, it was killing me. I'd walking on the scale, getting placed on the scale, like, feed me, come on, feed me, feed me.
You got the Pedialyte right next
Oh,
to you.
right next to you, got the gallon right behind it. Like, come on, it's like, scale, come on, read the number. Come on, let me off this thing. And then it's just, now it's, like right now, I'm walking around at 32. I woke up this morning at 132, I got a fight next week, and 7-pound cut.
That shouldn't be too bad.
No problem, I'm running every single day now, I'm about 3 to 8 miles a day, so.
What did you have to lose now that your diet is right? You know, what did you have to give up? Any favorite foods?
Yeah, carbs, bread, good tasting stuff.
All the good stuff.
It's just like, God, you got chicken breast for days. It's horrible.
Maybe
but-
a little sauce.
Yeah, it's eggs, sausage for breakfast. It's like, look at everybody else just eating. My manager, he's a great cook. That's the worst thing about it. Like, I'll come home and he's like, dude, you gotta try this. I'm just like looking, get a bite, and then like the whole thing just slipping to like stand there. Come on, you know you want more.
Start dripping.
Yeah, it's
I
just
know the
it's
feeling.
horrible, dude.
Dude.
But once I'm down here, it's pretty easy to maintain. So get a little ice cream every now and then. That's one thing I can't give up.
Ice cream.
Oh God, no. I'll eat a day way if I have to. Like I'll go run an extra hour or two as long as I get some ice cream.
Well, there you go. There you go.
So
I think we're about ready for a break, but when we return, we will be chatting with Nick Phillips with Legion Fighting Alliance. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to this segment of Office Talk, Episode 3. It has been brought to you by Shady Point Campground in Jones, Michigan. We have Nick Phillips here, fighting out of Legion Fighting Alliance. Can you tell us about your MMA career, man?
I started off, I was just, some people wanted to learn some wrestling. I was an extremely good high school wrestler. And I was like, sure, I'll show you some basic takedown methods. And it's, next thing you know, they give this guy in Jackson my phone number. Hey, you want to fight? I'm like, no, not really. I'm just showing these guys something. And he roped me into it, you know, pretty good talker, I guess you could say. So I was like, what the hell, I'll do this. I get there and I'm looking around the cage. The guy I'm fighting has the whole damn first row around the whole cage reserved. I'm looking around like, oh, this is real good. The guy walks up with his own photography crew. He's like, can we get a picture? I'm like, well, sure. And then he ended up getting me in a rear naked choke. I was a little sloppy at the time. I wasn't training, just some basic wrestling, a couple street fights, fighting in high school. And then it just went on from there.
So how long have you been doing it?
3 years now.
3 years. Okay. You said you started with wrestling, but when we see you fight, you know, jiu-jitsu is a big part of that. Is that your favorite?
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite.
And why is that?
Being at the gym I'm at, Norm's great. He's got me to where I'm just comfortable on my back. He's always drilled it in my head, being that I'm a small guy, and I'm always trying to take down big guys like George Allen. He's always like, why the hell are you shooting on a guy that big? And so now I basically just stepped away from shooting on people. He's drilled it in my head. He goes, you're comfortable on your back, you're decent on your back. Just let the fight go the way it goes. If they take you down, work from there.
You said yourself, you know, 115. That's a small weight class. How do you feel about Dana White making the announcement that that's going to be in the UFC now?
The weight cut, I was kind of slacking, and now I'm really getting in and cutting the weight. I mean, I feel I was fighting 125. I was a real small 125er. I really couldn't do anything once they'd get my back. They'd cut from 135, 140, 150. They'd get my back, and at the time, I was walking at 123, 120 somewhere, and they'd get my back. I couldn't get them off, and I was pretty much doing it. Now that Dana White's made that, I think I can make it run at 115. I can be decent size 115. I walk at about 130 now.
Awesome. Norm Alexander is your coach over at Legion Fight Lines. I heard he's a tough coach. I've even trained with him myself. What do you have to say about Norm as a coach?
Great coach. He don't cut you no slack. He'll be your best friend outside the gym. He definitely hates you inside the gym. Tell you that much. I was getting ready for my last fight when I was fighting for PCFL in Jackson, and probably about 3 weeks, month before, he caught me with my right hand down and gave me that nice little head kick and gave me a black eye for about 3 weeks. It just went away like, I don't know, 2 or 3 days before the fight.
Wow. There you go.
But he's a great guy. I mean, if you're looking for a place to train, Legion's where it's at. Great jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling. We got some real good fighters in there. Ed Torres, George Allen, Corey Nichols.
Okay. You got any fights coming up? I think you got one, Art of War, is it?
Yeah, I got a fight. Actually, it's next Saturday. It's going to be in Indianapolis for the Art of War. I'm fighting a guy named Patrick Best at 115. He looks pretty good. I haven't really had a challenge at 115 yet. I haven't fought in more than like a minute and a half, so maybe this will be a challenge for me.
Wow.
I've been in and out. Last one, well, let me correct that. It was 150 my last one. I'm trying to get back to 150.
Very nice. So you are very comfortable with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
We got a note here. Paige from Notre Dame wants to know if you're single or not.
Paige, no, I'm not single. I will be getting married next August.
Wah, wah.
Now I'll sleep on the couch for probably the next week.
I think you handled it well, man. I don't think your fiance will care one bit. You got that.
You don't have to go home to her.
Okay, we got another inbox question. Do you have any particular religion, and where do you study your religion, if so?
When I was younger, I was drilled Catholic, so I'd have to say Catholic. I really didn't. I was forced to go, so I really didn't like it, you know, but it is what it is. So I'd have to say it's Catholic.
All right. Do you have any shout-outs that you'd like to?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my fiance putting up with me being in the gym for 6-7 days a week, 8-9 hours a day, sometimes on the weekends. Everyone in California, everyone who's coming to watch me fight, all my brothers, and everyone at the Legion Fight Alliance getting me ready for this fight, and definitely my coach. And Mr. Ed Torres for putting in extra time with me. You know, he'd have shit to go do, and he'd be holding mitts instead of going and doing what he had to do.
Awesome.
He's a good fighter.
Yeah. What about you, Chris? Would you like to shout anybody out?
Yeah, I'd like to get Intimidation clothing line out. Shout out, they're my new sponsors. They actually just picked me up. They're officially starting for the August 3rd fight against Chad Rain. I'm really excited about fighting for him. Big family out there. You know, Shane's been to probably about 3 or 4 of my fights, and I mean, he's a great guy to talk to. If you ever get a chance, stop by the booth, say hi. Also like to give a shout out to 5th Street Boxing Gym down in Miami. Coach Dino Spencer, Melissa Hernandez, everybody else down there that I can't wait to come back and have you guys beat me up some more. And then obviously Team Hit, Ryan Hill, my coach, you know, I mean, got a great small gym out there, and can't wait to get back home, dude. So, thanks.
John McGuinn, how about you, man?
Yeah, I got a couple shout outs. First, my sponsors, Defense Soap, defensesoap.com. It's grappling soap, so if you're a grappler, get that, you won't get in your ring work. Just Junkie, they just picked me up. Thank you to them. White Realty, Jim Dunphy, he's the king of realty around the Notre Dame area. I also want to thank yourfightsite.com and Slave and Brews out of Champaign, Illinois. My gyms, the Crow's Nest, ran by Dan Weed, he's my striking coach. Chet Skimmelhorn, and he just got a new black belt this weekend, actually, in California, Warren Ecker. And I want to thank the Gracie Academy, the whole family around the country and the world, all my fans, my family, and my friends, and that sums it all up pretty much. Todd Brown and the Bulldogs there.
Welcome back to the 3rd edition of Office Talk, and it is brought to you by Rebel Ink Tattoo. Today we have for you Lance Wright, fighting for the Bulldog Fight Team, 5-0, fighting at 185 pounds. Then we have the very well-known Mike the Junkyard Dog. He's an independent fighter fighting at 170 pounds. Lance, when is your next fight, man?
I have a title fight for NFL 31 in August, so pretty excited about that.
Awesome.
Any idea who that opponent is yet, or
It's to be determined up in the air.
any names that you might want to throw out there? You know, anyone who you think would be a good contest? You know, someone that's deserving.
Anybody, I don't really care. I'm just here to fight, man.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, how long have you been fighting?
I had my first fight June 2nd last year. Been fighting for a little over a year now, and just training, doing everything.
With Todd Brown over there.
Yes.
Okay. I watched your last fight. Actually, your last fight was with one of my training partners, Robert Thornton. Tell us a little bit about it. It looked like you kind of stunned him on his feet. Take it from there.
I just went out there and I had heard that he doesn't like to get hit, so I mean I just knew if I threw that he might curl up, and I just kept on going and went with it.
Awesome. You're an undefeated fighter now, 5-0. So, who gave you the biggest challenge out of all your 5-year fights?
My third fight was against what was his name? Can we cut that? I can't remember.
That's okay, keep going. I can edit. Keep going.
I seriously can't remember.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, what about him made him such a challenge?
Well, I went to the third round, but that was a novice fight, and I couldn't punch on the ground, so.
That sums it up.
Okay. Now that you're 5-0, do you realize that people are starting to watch you now, taking, you're not just another guy in the cage, like you have fans, you're followers, people are watching you go 5-0.
Well, I'm not really that famous, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I like to go through life nameless, just fly under the radar a little bit. This is one of my first interviews, actually.
Okay.
Awesome. What's your favorite food, man? It's an inbox question to all the fighters. Can you tell us what your favorite food is?
I like pizza.
Who don't, right?
Last week, it looks like you just got your blue belt.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, tell me about it.
Tested with Todd Brown at Midwest Martial Arts. It was a very intense test with over an hour of live rolling, and then at the end of it, all blue belts get choked to sleep.
Wow, yeah. It's definitely fun. Definitely fun.
And we got Mike Junk here, Mike the Junkyard Dog. You're an independent fighter. Tell us a little bit about this, man. I mean, do you train at all? Any training at home? I mean, you're independent, but do you hit the bag? Do you run? Anything like that?
Yes, I just jog like every day, every other day, and hit my punch bag before I jog and after I jog. And other than that, I just wrestle with my kids.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just like to fight.
Do you jog a lot? I mean, long distance? Or?
Yeah, about 5 miles. I try to get 5 miles there until I can't breathe no more. Until I used to be a smoker.
Nice.
Working on that, so.
Cool, man. Cool.
You have a huge following. It seems like it doesn't matter the size of the show that you are fighting in, you pack the stadium. Tell us about that. How does it feel having all those people behind you, screaming, jumping?
It helps out a lot when you're, in the heat of the moment. And, it helps me get back up. It helps out just screaming my name, and it's kind of cool to have that back. Kids love it. Fans are just great. They keep coming out every fight. I really appreciate it. My sister-in-law helps me out sell the tickets, so.
Really? What are your plans for the next 3 to 4 years as an MMA fighter?
To go to the top. Go ahead and go.
Right on. Can you tell us about your next fight?
I'm fighting Ed Johnson at NFL 31 at the Cove. I've actually sparred with Ed before. I think it's going to be a pretty good fight. Ed's a tough kid. Look forward to the challenge. I hope it's a good draw.
Yeah.
Is that the way you see it going, on your feet, just throwing hands?
That's what I hear. So, only time will tell.
Are you excited about that?
Right.
I mean, like Jeremy and I have said, and you got heavy hands. Is that something that you would prefer to do, or?
Always.
Always.
I love a bunch of people to play.
So what's your record now?
18-6. talking about I need to get into a gym instead of my backyard. I'm gonna go to Bulldogs and train for a little while and see where I go from there.
Okay, why would you choose the Bulldogs?
I've always wanted to go there. I've just been tired of the family and stuff, and it's close to my house, closer than any other gym. It's either that or Legion, and I think Legion just a little bit too far. So, choose Bulldogs.
Okay.
Alright. Well, we all know that you're a really tough fighter. Like you've been categorized as a till the end fighter. You go all the way out. With your last fight, you spent nearly the entire thing in a rear naked choke and continued to hit. And he didn't come out to answer the bell. How was that? What was that like for you to know that you repressed him so much while you were defending?
It kind of sucked. I wanted to keep fighting him. I thought it was going to be a hell of a lot tougher fight. But supposedly, he says I broke him in the eye. I don't know. I couldn't see. I was on my back. So from the video, it doesn't look like I did. If anything, he's probably caught a couple knuckles in the eye. I just swing nonstop during the fight. It's like I'm going chokehold to the end. I mean, most people, if they're in a chokehold, they're trying to get out of the chokehold. I'd rather punch them in the face when I'm in a chokehold.
Right on.
It worked.
Yeah. He's one of the bigger ones, 70 pounders in our weight class. I'm a 70, you're 70. He's huge, man. I don't know what he cuts, but did that have any extra weighing in on your conscious?
Yeah, that's why I thought it was going to be a lot tougher fight for me. Actually, a bunch of people that know him. I thought he was going to stand and bang with me also, but it didn't end up that way. He just squeezed the hell out of my head. As you can see in the video, my face is bright purple, but I don't give up. I'm not giving up anymore. My 6 losses are from being choked out. I tell myself I'm not doing it anymore. And as you can see, I didn't. I mean,
How did you come up with the name Junkyard Dog? Was that given to you?
no, actually, we were throwing it around one day when I first started my career, and my last name is Jump. I used to love the Junkyard Dog, the wrestler, and I looked into it, and it just fit me. That simple last name, Jump. I just threw it in there. So it fits perfect.
And now it's a chain.
Yep, now it's a champ. And actually, the fans just started doing that at one of my fights, and it's been going on ever since.
I'll admit, I've been a part of the chain. Question for you. Obviously, you're well known in the local area. You got a lot of new up and comers looking up to you for your name. They see you being respectful. How does it make you feel knowing that you're a role model of sorts now?
Like it. I like it a lot, actually. I like the attention and stuff. My kids really love it. I mean, they go to school and they wear my shirts to school, and all the kids want to buy them. All the kids run with me after the fights. I just love being a role model with little kids, and I guess that's it. Just
You got anything you want to say to them? Anybody who's inspiring coming up?
stay in school, kids, and respect your parents and all your elders. That's about it.
Right on. I mean, I would have to say that I noticed first thing after all your fights, and even before your fights, you got a ton of sportsmanship for your fellow fighter and stuff. You and I fought. I felt a lot of respect there. Where'd that come from, man? I mean, you look kind of mean. When I look at you standing out there waiting to go to the cage, you look mean. You got a mean look. You got a raspy voice, but you're a nice dude.
What's I thank my father for that one. My father is a very respectful man, and if I wasn't respected as a kid, he would yell at me, whip my ass, and he always respect people, no matter what, win, lose. Sportsmanship, it's a sport, it's a job. I mean, we're all in there to do the same thing, so you win, you lose, one's gonna win, one's gonna lose. Shake his hand, go on with the next fight.
Yeah.
It's no reason to get mad or nothing, it's not gonna get you anywhere. So,
I
it's
agree.
really just respect every fighter. We're all doing the same sport, same thing. So.
Very nice. Now, before we head out, you guys have anybody you want to thank or throw a shout out to?
I just like to throw a shout out to my wife, my kids, sister-in-law, boss, Cornerman Scott, MMA Reality. Love it.
I want to give a shout out to Todd Brown, everybody at the Bulldog Fight Team. Thanks for helping me with my blue belt, guys. That's about it.
I'm sure they enjoyed that. Now, who actually choked you out?
Todd did.
Todd did. All right. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming out.
Thanks, Brad.
I think we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll see you when we return.
Now we're gonna open this up, open concept. You guys can ask each other questions, you guys can ask us questions. And I'll start this off. I got a question for you, Lance. Since you said that you kind of like flying under the radar and stuff, what made you come on the show?
Well, you know, being under the radar and everything, I don't have any sponsors right now myself, you know, but I'd like to get something out there, you know, just because I'm going to turn pro eventually, you know, it's always been the plan. So, I mean, got to start somewhere.
Awesome. Do you guys have any questions for one another?
Yeah, I actually got a question over here for Lana. How do you see like the fighting difference from like our areas? Like I see a lot of people on some of the threads online about how Midwest fighters, you know, they're not, you know, they can't keep up like the East Coast, West Coast, you know, Southern fighters and stuff like that. Like you've been around and you fought. What do you think?
That's a great question.
I don't think it's much of a difference. You know, I think Michigan we bring like it's a lot of tough fighters that's come out of Michigan, and it's a lot of tough fighters all over. I really don't understand why we don't get the respect that we deserve, but it's not a difference at all.
And so did you like going out, like taking fights other places and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's nice to travel and take fights out of Michigan, and you know it's always good this experience to go out of state, and it's fun too. So.
Yeah.
Alana, since you were on the big screen, what do you think about Michael Chiavello? They call him the voice. You have.
He's a real nice person. Like he's a real along with. He's very nice and nothing bad to say about him.
And then I think Pat Miletich was
Yeah,
Not so soon?
it was really cool meeting him. I've always been a fan of watching him fight. He's like a veteran in the sport, so it was real. Like I was kind of starstruck when I saw him, but it was real awesome meeting him.
nice. Did you do any live interviews with Michael Chiavello?
I did on Access TV. They came down and brought came through. It wasn't like in front of them, but he was one of the guys that's he was moving. And then Ross Wooten was the other one. So
Wow, Ross Root.
yeah.
And you was starstruck with Pat Miletich?
I didn't see him in person, so
Oh,
it was
okay.
a little different.
Yeah.
I had to shake his hand, and he was asking me questions. I was sitting there and was like, "Hey, don't mess up, don't mess up." It was real cool. And it's been a really great experience so far.
Nice.
And
Is there
it's only
any?
gonna get better.
Yeah. Is there any other big names that you got to meet?
James McSweden. That was the first guy I met at CFA. My first fight with him, I was actually in the same room with him. I met Frank Mir.
Wow.
Um,
Did you interact with him?
Big Frank
Yeah,
Mir or little Frank Mir?
Big. I just shook his hand, really that was about it. And I met Kevin. He just won the tough enough winner when I went out to Vegas to try out for the tough enough season for the next season. And then they call him Bubba. I don't know his last name, but he's like a real tall guy. He's also tough enough, but you know, I met quite a few. And I also met Dana White, so that was cool.
Awesome. Nick Devine, we just got an inbox question from Facebook. They're asking, do you plan on fighting MMA again? And if so, where?
Well, that's been a highly debated question I get everywhere I go. They say when I'm going to return to the cage, it was fun to watch me fight. But, you know, now that I'm at a pro level, you know, I'm going to be fighting for a few title belts as far as boxing goes, it's hard to really determine whether I'm gonna go back in the cage. But to be honest, I mean, I think about her every now and then. You know, I miss her. You know, I wouldn't mind doing it, but it's hard to really determine if I would actually take one. But if I did, it'd probably be somewhere around Michigan first before I actually branch out. Because you're talking Chicago and places where some of the best gyms is. I really gotta have more than good takedown defense and good hands. I'm really gonna take a pro MMA fight. Cause I don't want to just fight a cab driver. I want to be worth something. So it's really hard to determine at this point because I'm so far from boxing or anything possible.
Okay. Well, speaking of Michigan, there's a lot of controversy around the Michigan MMA. What do you have to say about that? It's not sanctioned, and you know, some run the shows with the least amount of money as possible, so they're not as good a show as, say, when you come to Indiana where there's a sanctioned state.
It's real shaky, and it bothers me to the fact because MMA, out of 8.5 months I did it, I had fun doing it. I won 15 fights and lost one at Genesis, and for me to get on the site and look up my name and it's 0-1, I feel like, wow, you know, what happened to my fights? So it does bug me from that aspect, but at the same time, the only way I can really deal with this, and you know, MMA is a part of me that's behind me at this point, and boxing is just what I'm moving forward with. So it's hard for me to really get into depth how I really feel about it because it's not part of my fight game no more.
Okay. Well, what about you, Atlanta? Since you're fighting in Michigan, and or you have fought in Michigan, and then you fought for some of the bigger promotions, what would you have to say about that?
It definitely needs improvement. I think promoters will start reporting everybody's fight, making fighters get footwork, doing it the right way. I'm not saying every promoter does that. I know a lot of times does it right, and I know there's a few that do it wrong. So, it does need improvement, and that could be part of the reason why a lot of other states don't respect MMA. Michigan don't take us seriously because some people here in Michigan don't take it seriously and do what's right. So I believe that it needs to be done, because it's like all of us are all great fighters, and we take the sport very seriously. We train every day. So it makes us look bad, when people don't look at us. They skip over us, they don't even give us a chance. So because of some reasons. So I think it does improve.
Okay. I have a question for all of you. Has anyone ever had a fighter back out on them after training so hard and putting all that time and dedication? Yes. Isn't that the worst thing that's ever happened?
The fighters meeting and just disappeared. He was at the fighters meeting and just disappeared.
It's nested. I had one dude, he's literally standing right next to me on the scale. Like he's weighing in. I jump on the scale, he looks over and tells us, I'm not fighting him. And he stepped down and walked out the building. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. We're here. It's time tomorrow. Like, you're not fighting him.
At 125.
Yeah, this is back when I did it. Like, I was cutting from 60 to 25.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm getting on, I'm like, I'm gonna break your neck.
We're fighting
anyway. Somebody's gonna hit me in the face there. Let's do this. Come on. Well, I hated it. I had like 4 or 5 of those fights in a row. Like I like to fight, so I take a fight every month. And at this time I had a 4 month where I didn't have any fights. Everybody just, I'll fight you. I'll do it. All right, cool. Show up, I make weight. Your opponent's not here. Your opponent's not showing up. Your opponent's got to go to work. Your opponent's scared. Your corner ain't there. Like, what are you gonna do about that? Sorry.
I think we've all experienced that to some degree. It's always a big disappointment, not only for us as fighters, but for the people that come out, our support groups. It's not just us putting in the work; it's our teammates putting in the work, getting us ready. Our family who's coming out to see it, our fans who are coming out to see it. So it can only be summed up by a major disappointment.
Oh yeah. My first Legion fight, I had 4 different guys back out after I had my first really training. I trained for like almost a year straight, and 4 fighters, good old Greg Aarons, wouldn't want to fight me. One guy wanted me to fight, he had like 25 fights or something, and one wouldn't let me. I was wanting to fight because I done drove all the way to Battle Creek, sold like 20 tickets, and it just didn't happen. The guy said he'd rather stay home and party, my actual opponent, than
then why even sign up, right?
Right. After all that, like good old Facebook talk.
Yeah.
Oh, Facebook Warriors. Gotta love them, dude. God.
And then I'd rather stay home and party than show up and fight.
Mike Junk, have you ever had anybody back out on you?
One time.
One time? Yeah.
And I ended up getting a fight actually. Derek Kaczynski had a guy back out the same night, and then we ended up just agreeing to fight each other.
I remember that.
It worked out.
Awesome. What can we do to stop that? Is there anything? I mean, I don't think there is. I mean, once the opponent's lined up, if they back out, then they back out,
Start
right?
doing like Ohio does, start suspending them.
Yeah.
So the next question I have for the group here is, the Indiana fighters, would you consider fighting in Michigan for any of them promotions, and vice versa? Would you Michigan fighters consider fighting Indiana promotions? I'm going to start with you Michigan fighters, Alana.
I don't mind it. I like fighting out of state. It's nice.
Fine.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. So, I wouldn't mind it.
It don't matter about the state to me, really. I mean, if I can beat somebody that's on my level that wants to fight, I'll fight everywhere. The promotion in Indiana versus Michigan, none of that matters. Just want to fight.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Nick?
I'm gonna fight my first Indiana fight next weekend, and it's sanctioned. I'm gonna probably pretty much say I'll be done with Michigan then.
Do you have any specific reasons?
Yeah, like as we were talking in the gym, the blood work and stuff, and a lot of Legion guys, they all fight in Indiana. It's gonna be my first one. Norm's pretty much, I think he's trying to get us out of Michigan, but there's a few promotions we may fight for, but other than that,
Yeah.
we're gonna stick to fighting sanctioned fights.
There are some really good promotions, like Ron DeLeon up in Lansing.
Yeah.
TWC is not a bad promotion.
Yeah, we'll fight for TWC.
But a lot of it goes back to blood work, the dependability of fighters actually showing up. So.
I mean, it really sucks when you train for 6-7 months straight, and then a guy comes in basketball shorts. Really?
Drawstrings out too.
I mean, yeah. Like my last guy, I fight in spandex now because we all got huge shorts. I could have let him use my straw shorts that I wore to the cage. It wouldn't have been a problem, I guess, but. Boxers
Again,
are all-
Don't dirty those shorts. You can spill your blood.
Well, I guess it would have tainted my straw shorts if they hadn't lost the fight. They would have had a loss on them. Actually, I was at Ron DeLeon's show, and there was a guy, and he showed up in just his sweatpants, no shorts, no nothing, thought he could fight in that, so I was like, I wouldn't fight in that night, but I had an extra pair of shorts in the bag. I was like, here you go, buddy. You can fight me, and then he got knocked down, and I just went ahead and let him keep him. I don't want to take that chance.
Ron DeLeon does have a good promotion. I fought a kid out of Team Mercy Largo, my first fight. It was a good show.
You remember who it was?
Dana Maynard.
I mean, Ron
Were you there? Were you there for that one?
Probably.
Ron always took care of us. He put us up in our rooms, took care of our gas. He tells you in his fighters meeting, if you get hurt, go to the hospital. Yeah.
A promoter asked for me to send a video to him. I did, and he was like, "Take it down immediately. It's a Michigan fight." I was like, "Oh, okay. I thought I was doing pretty good."
Question for everybody. If you had to compare yourself to any MMA fighter, any organization, who would it be? Start with anybody.
We'll just work our way. We'll work our way this way.
Maybe I can compare. I don't think I don't really want to compare myself to anybody else. I want to be me. I want to be an individual. I want to stand out. I want to shine on my own. You know what I mean? I admire all other men, women, all other MMA fighters. Anybody that's got the heart to go in the cage, you know what I mean, and go for what they know. I admire all fighters. I admire all artists. I admire all art forms. But I still like in that field, even though, I admire and idolize a lot of the people that do the same thing I do, I still want to be a star and stand out and shine. I want people to say, yeah, it's MMA, but yeah, this is Ruthless Struggle, this part of it is him, or he brought this part, but I'm going to bring something to MMA myself, you know what I mean? That's pretty much, that's where I
guess that's just how I want to do things. Just want to finish the fight.
Well, I guess it's a domino effect because I'm gonna say the same thing you said, but in my words. So the way I see it is, I think I speak for all of us when I say, we all in this, we all believe in our skills, our craft, and at the end of the day, we all building our own legacy. It's not like everything we do in the cage or ring is just invented right there. We all take from the best to be the best. So I probably, since I do boxing and MMA, I might have borrowed, as she would say, a little bit of Mayweather's arrogance, but anybody know me, I got a big mouth, but I back it up all the time. But, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm building my own legacy, so there's no one I want to be like. I have inspirations like Mayweather, Tyson, John Jones. It's people I look up to in the sport, but at the end of the day, I'm happy to build my own legacy and where I'm headed at in it. So that's what I put that.
I'm just trying to be me. I'm trying to bring my own thing to MMA. And I admire a lot of people, look up to other people, but I just want to be Hands of Stone. That's it.
Hands of Stone. That's just a cool name.
Just want to do myself also. Like fight every day, That's about it, yeah.
Well, I get inspired by everybody. I mean, I'm a high energy person, and it don't take much to inspire me. And I grab it from anywhere I can without even trying. I mean, I just am inspired, and then I get a ton of energy, and it helps me to go forward on whatever project I'm working on at that time. So, yeah, I get inspired by a lot of people, but in the end, I like to be me. That's why they call me Downtown, because you don't have to have a mean name or a heavy name just to be a good fighter or something. You can be the Junkyard Dog. You can be Downtown Jeremy Brown. You don't have to be I'ma kill you, Kevin. So in the end, I like to be myself, and I'm just inspired by everybody. And in fact, looking over all of your guys' fight videos and stuff, I probably gathered a little bit of inspiration from each one of you guys. So with that, what do you got, man?
Actually, I'm going to make a shout out right now. There's a local fighter who actually got me started, and if anyone's seen him fight, you can tell that we fight exactly the same. I'm this little prodigy. Shout out to Elton Chavez, El Sucio. Yeah, he saw after I think my second fight, he saw me go out there and just throw out a ton of heart with a little bit of wrestling to back it up. And he scooped me up, and I became his little project. And he beat me up some days in his backyard, and sometimes he would say, "Come out here. I'm working out here. Come work out with me." And anyone who's seen Elton Chavez fight, you can see the reflection in the AK. I mean, the name's a little bit different, but all the tenacity, good wrestling background, not afraid to get hit, not afraid to throw punches, and come out and watch it, I guess.
I guess I'll go. I like to be myself, obviously, like all these guys said, but if I had to pick somebody, I would pick like a nicer, more reserved version of Nick Diaz. I love the way he fights. He goes out there, balls to the wall, and he doesn't really care what the judges think. Just goes out and fights. So, I hear myself in.
You don't care what fans think either.
You don't.
I guess me, I really look up to and want to fight like Frankie Edgar. That dude's a monster.
That's what I was going to say.
He goes out there and he puts on a war. And finally, it's like I love training, push my cardio all the way, and like someday I'm gonna be at that level. So I'm gonna put on just as good shows. I mean, him and Maynard, dude, those are strong fights. I love
Him and
them.
Benson, though. When
Boy.
Benson up kicked him, I thought that was over that one time. The first one, straight up kicking him in the face. I was like, wow.
Dude's tough, man. When you get
And
it.
he's small.
I know.
He's small. I didn't like seeing him on TV. I always visualized him being, this, Greek god built man. But one of my partners just went out there and trained with him, brought back with a photo. I was like, oh my god, are you on the stool?
Hey, I'm gonna have to ask you, I'm gonna cut it too, when I'm gonna edit it. Ask, okay, how many of you watched that Access TV when Alana fought that Fallon Fox?
I watched.
Okay, ask Alana, why did she pick and choose that walkout song? Dude walking like a lady. Ask her. I wanna know. I absolutely wanna know.
That's the real controversy.
Yes. I absolutely wanna know.
Alright, well, we'll finish up with Nick.
Like Chris said, I'm real small, so Norm's had me watching a lot of videos on Frankie Edgar. I mean, he drills, and that's all he does is send me videos of Frankie Edgar. I'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, my phone will be just going crazy with videos of Frankie Edgar. He's telling me how much Norm hates me and how small I am, so he watches damn videos. And I've seen it's working a lot. I'm not going for the head as much. I'm starting to work a lot more of the body. Because we got guys like Andrew Miller, George Allen. Here I am trying to have a slugfest with them. I got to jump to hit him in the chin. And that's when Norm started sending me videos and making me watch Frankie Edgar and stuff. So.
Oh, I see on Facebook all the time, a lot of the Legion fighters go back and forth saying how much you guys hate each other. What is this all about, man?
That's I mean, that's our way of basically saying I love you. You know, you're my brother, you're my teammate. It's just, we don't like that.
That's the man version, huh?
Yeah, that's the man version. Anyway. If Norm don't tell you he hates you, you probably don't know. You might as well just give it up. I mean, he'll just randomly send you a text. I hate you.
Alright, now, to go back to the fight on Access TV with Alana, what are the thoughts behind the Come Out song?
I got some negative, got some positive, but more positive than negative, so everybody thought it was freaking hilarious, and I did too. I mean, it's a dude that looks like a lady now, so the song was perfect.
He don't look like a
But
lady.
it was perfect. I mean, I'm like, oh, you guys don't like Aerosmith? It's a great song. It's a good hit. So, I mean, it was fun.
Did you have to put a lot of thought into it, or did it come to you right away?
No, right away. Me and my man was like, oh my God, you gotta walk out the dude looks like a lady. I'm like, yes, I am.
Did that break your concentration at all, or are you just laughing?
No,
Is this
it
anything?
got me really pumped up. It got me real pumped up.
I got a question. Was there anything Smart said in the weightings when you guys were?
No,
No?
it was quiet. I'm not really good. I don't talk a lot of crap to anybody. I'm all nice until we get paid. So, but no, we didn't say anything about it. She did say something about the song though. She was like, oh, dude looks like a lady. That's pretty funny. And I'm like, I know it, isn't it?
I know, right?
Wasn't he as strong as he looked?
Uh,
I've said it on Facebook. I'm not going to call it a girl. It's not a girl.
well, so you can see in the fight, when I threw a picture, like, pushed me into the cage that was flying. So she's
Yeah.
strong.
That man's strong.
But
Well, it's like my age, right? Like 33, 34, right?
it's like 36,
36?
So
Yeah.
he's a little grown man.
Yeah. He fought as a man in the ring too.
Yeah, so he's been a man since like 30.
Nick Given. Nick Devine, we just got an inbox question. They're wanting to know, what were your thoughts when you found out that Alana was fighting Fallon Fox?
Well, originally I was kind of against it, just off the simple fact that it was a dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they were saying it's a women's tournament, but yeah, it's a dude in here. Like, that's like me clipping and snipping and going to get a women's tournament. Like, okay, I want to fight now. They gonna let me go? You know what I'm saying? So I was highly against it, but I know the fighter she was, you know, I was like, hey, you should want to take this, you know, her. She like, I don't care. I just want to fight. I don't care who it is. I'm not gonna take it. So I was like, at that point, all I could do was support her, you know, hope for the best, you know. So she had my support, even though I was kind of shaky about the whole thing. But I know her being the fighter she was going to do it regardless. So I had to show support at that point.
Yeah, like you can put monster truck tires on an El Camino, it's still a car.
You can polish your turd, but it's still a piece of shit.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I got camera shot. Oh yeah, I want to give a shout out to my biggest fan supporter, Joyce Givan. That's my mom. I love you very much. And I have fight moms too, Barbara Quilling, Deborah White, Ruth Jones. I want to give a shout out to those ladies. And I want to give a shout out to my team, Team Beeman. You know, it's not just me and my management that come with me. Team Beeman is a movement, fans, people who support me, buy shirts, my fellow fighter friends, everybody. So I want to give a shout out to them, and that's about it.
I just want to shout out to my family, fans, everybody that supported me and has been there for me, that's helped me for my training, special title shots has been there, like funded a lot of my training. Shout out to all the coaches that's worked with me. Leroy Altega, he's been working with me for the last few years now, and I want to give a shout out to all my teammates at Sulados MMA. Also want to give a shout out to Team Toro for letting me come down and work with me in Carter Perez, and helping me with my Muay Thai, and just everybody, all the fans that support me. You can follow me on Twitter, Hands of Stones, with an S at the end of Stones, _1. I put most of my fight updates there, and also I have Facebook, and type in my name, Alana Jones, and be able to check me out from there.
Same with me, Nick King, Beeman Gavan, Facebook name. That's it, you can get me on Facebook, you know, updates on my upcoming fights, like the Virginia fight this August 17th, and the Hastings, Michigan fight, which is August 31st, the Berry County beatdown. You can get a hold of me on Facebook on that, Nick King, Beeman Gavan, everybody.
Alright guys, before we leave, make sure you come check out a bunch of us at MFL 31. We'll all be there putting on a great show. You don't want to miss it.
I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and thank my family and friends. Thank you, Stan, for having me, and AK and Jeremy. MMARealityShow.com. Thanks a lot, guys. And my Twitter name, you can follow me, is @JohnMcGlynn.
But yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Rolling Tattoo Studios, my wife, my kids for being patient, working with me while I do. You know, I train 3 to 4 hours a day sometimes. It's not always easy. I can't give her all the attention that I should be giving her as a husband, you know. And she, you know, she helps me do a lot of stuff. She helps me manage my fight page on Facebook, Ruthless Rebel at Facebook.com. Also in the Reveling Tattoo Studios, I'm the owner and operator. And she helps me run that business on top of being a mom of my 3 kids and working a full-time job. And I'd like to give a shout out to Todd Brown and Team Bulldogs, Midwest Martial Arts, all my teammates, man, for helping me train and making me better at everything I do. And it's been my Lord and Creator, man. Thank Him for my gifts and my first breath air and doing when I wake up.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to the Bulldogs as well. I want to thank my dad, you know, for supporting me throughout my whole MMA and, you know, before when I was in high school, my wrestling career too, and just everybody that's helped me out, you know, over there at Midwest Martial Arts. I want to thank Stan, you know, for inviting me out here. Thanks for having me, guys.
I'll do one over here. I'd like to give a shout out to, again, my team, Team Hit, Ryan Hilly, our master, our trainer. My mom, biggest, #1 fan of mine, dude. I mean, she comes to as many fights as she possibly can, and I fight everywhere in the state. I fought down in Evansville, I fought up in, you know, South Bend, I fought in Indy, and she comes all over, dude. She's my #1 fan, and I love her to death. So, thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out to my fiance. She puts up with a lot of bull with me doing this, being at the gym, toting 3 kids around. And every fight, she's there no matter what. Even if I'm not fighting, she's there supporting the Legion. And I just want to tell her how much I love you. I love you, Autumn. Oh yeah, and Norman Alexander.
He hates
Just
you.
don't hate me too much.
I've got a sponsor I'd like to shout out, Bangtown Fightwear. And also, I'd like to thank the guy behind the camera, Stan. You are the man. You are the one that puts in relentless hours. As soon as he leaves here, I guarantee you guys, he's going home and he's going to get behind the computer. He's going to start editing, and he will have this out within a few days.
Every day and every night, I am gonna fight to win. We kicking ass now. Every day and every night, I am gonna fight to win. We bring the house down. Every day and every night, I am gonna fight to win. We crush our enemies. Every day and every night, I am gonna fight to win. We bring them to their knees.
I step in the arena, I get my knuckles cracking. I try to keep it clean, but who knows what could happen. I see a long row, an ensemble of the best fighters from a combo of consoles. First came Ryu, a guy who cries as he tries to fight you. I deck the dude in his chest just before I shock Blanca when I kick the fool directly in his testicles. And Sub-Zero felt the need to freeze me, squeeze me, that's cheesy, his ass left bleeding. I Falcon punch Captain Falcon just as I super smash Mario up in his mustache. And Panda gets up in my face and I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to beat him till he's bleeding for extinction, leaving knuckle imprints on his eyelids. Nice.